Well, it's July 2021 and here we are in the Roman Fort, or just on the edge of the Roman Fort at High Rochester in Northumberland. This is the western gateway, what's left of it, which is quite substantial. There's a springer, and we're running an archaeological dig over 2 weeks across this area of flat ground on the western side of the fort. Geophysical survey has spotted very large annex or annexes, almost as large as the fort itself, and they are under investigation. Jim Crow, who's now head of department, is professor at Edinburgh University, did a lot of work at Rochester in the 1990s, just a little before my time, and found all kinds of interesting things within the fort, and did a little bit of work on these annex type structures. And there are some other geophysical anomalies in the field on the far side of that wall down there, and we really don't know what they are. They could be industrial, possible settlement, but whether that is Roman or pre-Roman or post-Roman even, we shall soon see. Well, let's go and have a look down in the trenches and see what the volunteers and archaeologists from the National Park and from the Archaeological Practice have been unearthing. So looking back up at the rampart of the fort, the Basel House in the middle of it, and it's quite well defined going all round. And then we're stood at the far end of the annex in one of our trenches, and we're finding all kinds of archaeological material. So this could well be a rampart base that we're just cleaning back now, and then we have other metalled surfaces. It could be internal roads within the annex. It's early days in trying to understand what's going on. The fort is quite a long-lived fort. It goes right from the Agricolan period and has at least 3 builds, right up until, I think, Constantine. And here in the furthest trench to the west is a very large ditch, one of the annex ditches that we're just excavating now. Yes, some of the geophysical anomalies are heat-affected areas, very magnetic responses, and we found that there is a definite kind of burning over some of these stones here, and it's full of ceramic material and bits of iron slag, so it's pointing at industry, which is probably well, it's one of the main functions of the annex, a place where industrial activities could be carried out. But there are many structures as well on the far side of the annex. Could they be some kind of vicus? Not sure yet. Okay, and this is Barry, one of our experienced volunteers, who's going to explain to you what he's been doing in this trench.
Yes, we've gotten up a trench 5 by 5 metres. And we've put it in this location at the base of the western rampart because a geophysical survey picked up what they call a hot spot, possible evidence for burning here. And after we've deturfed, removed the topsoil, we've started to come down onto this huge spread of sort of stonework and what have you, which seems to be cutting through what we think is the natural soil at the top of the trench. Very little in the way of finds though to date, although we've just picked up a piece of Roman greyware out one of the layers that we're excavating. Watch this space, because later on today we're going to remove this layer of stone to see what's underneath.
Right, this is the other side of the site. We're beyond the annex now, which is way over there on the higher ground. You see the tent up there. But there are many geophysical anomalies down here. And this is one of those. So, hi, what are you doing on this site then, in this trench? This is trench L, isn't it? So what have we been finding?
Well, there's all sorts of black pottery down here. This is probably what we think is a Roman rubbish pit.
Great. It's like a midden, yeah, just all full of general waste, lots of pottery.
Yeah, now we're just trying to get down to find some more Iliad, this colour of clay in here, which we're just starting to hit now, I think.
All right, yeah. Just getting down to the natural to find the extent of the rubbish pit. Great. And it looks like there's some kind of structure in here as well. Interesting. So we have activity, we have rubbish pit, and we've got possible industrial activity, because we've found hammer scale in that trench and other things. But some of the pots have been quite interesting. This is a good sized chunky piece of this kind of cookware that you get made in the Midlands. And I don't know how old that would be, 2nd, 3rd century, something like that. And then a good range of all the usual suspects. I'll not get them all out yet, we'll show you that on another day, but black burnished wares, bits of Samian, bits of tegular tiles, lots of grey ware, that colour coated ware, things like that. So it's quite prolific for finds, that trench, as you would expect in a rubbish. Here we are back in trench C, and I'm sorry I forgot your name again. Peter and Barry have been uncovering this structure from the geophysical survey, which looked like a circular anomaly at high magnetic rates. So we thought heat affected, possibly a kiln, but it didn't look that promising, all of the demolitions. What have you found now, Barry?
Yeah, we've had a brilliant afternoon. We've really worked hard clearing all the demolition debris. And looks like we've got the remnants of a kiln coming through, and that lovely sort of red line of sort of boulders, burnt sand, clay and what have you. Lovely feature. So after 3.5 days of hard slog, it looks like we might have actually found something and shown what was seen as a hotspot on the geophysics. Looks like it was for real.
Oh, that's great.
Can't date it, mind. We've had no pottery or anything to date it at the moment. But we're assuming it might be Roman, but hard to tell.
Yeah. Well, we'll try and get some kind of sampling material from it maybe, and we'll see. But yeah, good job.